It was unbelievable, man. It was so sad.
It's
Sad.
it's one of those games where it's like we find the most creative ways to lose
Yeah,
games, and days like yesterday are what makes this franchise feel like the most cursed franchise in sports.
absolutely. It was so brutal. Let's talk about the entire game though. Truth be told, you can sit there and say that, oh yeah, it was the refs' fault that we lost that game. We gave up a touchdown, a wide open touchdown on 3rd and 18, and then we gave up a 4th and 19 to allow them to kick that field goal. So, yeah, the refs missed a call, but when you're the Lions, you should expect that.
Yeah,
And you
it's a
shouldn't let
story.
them
It's a
convert
story.
that stuff.
I feel like we've heard a million times as
Yeah.
Lions fans. It's everyone does get very angry because the refs blew a call, and that's happened so many times. But like the thing is that there's a whole game that leads up to those moments, and
Yes.
there are so many times where they could have gone down and scored more points. Jared Goff looked bad in this game. Like
First half looked terrible. I think we had we had close to 20 yards passing in
Well,
the first half.
second half, we adjusted the game plan to make DeAndre Swift just do everything.
We said, Anthony Lynn comes back out of the tunnel and he said, "All right, Swift, come here. Hey, we're just gonna play you every play, and you're getting the ball."
And I mean, and funny enough, they did that, and then
actually
Jamal
very
Williams got the touchdown,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
which is kind of
So
funny.
true.
But
no, Swift got the first one.
right,
Yeah,
Jamal
and then
got the
Jamal
one
got
to
the second one.
to put us closer to a win, but that didn't happen.
But you know what? Yeah, as I was saying, they not only give up the 3rd and 18 touchdown, but they also give up the 4th and 19 conversion. The other thing was if Hollywood Brown just makes one of those 3 catches that he dropped, that game is not even that close to begin with. Because he dropped literally 3 touchdown passes from Lamar yesterday.
Yeah, we got a lot of lucky breaks. Honestly.
We had a lot of lucky breaks. The defense at times looked so much better, but at times it was the same old shit. Mark Andrews, he had 5 catches. He was wide open on 4 of them. I mean, not a single guy near him.
How about the fact that our defense was missing Jeff Okudah and Jamie Collins because Jamie Collins is on the trade block right now?
Absolute bum.
And you don't even notice. You don't even notice it. Like
actually, I would argue that they look better without him.
Well, with Collins, definitely.
100%.
I mean, it's so funny. I hear on on the national radio calls or like TV, they're like, "Oh, the Lions are without their number 1 corner." I'm like,
yeah, I know who's.
Have you watched the team? Like he should be the number 3 or 4.
Yeah,
like he's getting outplayed by guys.
Tell you what, Bobby Price looks pretty decent yesterday. The other corner. He made a couple plays on the ball. He probably got beat a couple times too. But I mean, on this team, who doesn't get beat?
Well, they're asking guys who they pick up off the street to go in and contribute, defend number 1 receivers in the NFL. I mean, we're kind of getting. I can't
tell what position he plays. AJ Parker. He looked good yesterday too.
I think he's a safety.
I think he is a safety. He's fast, and they love to send him on blitzes, and he's fast. He gets in there. He has the heart, but he doesn't know what he's doing. That makes any sense.
How old is he? Do you know?
He's pretty young.
He's a younger guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're the youngest team in the league, so
yeah, I've got to assume that
line too. Most of them are rookies.
I just want to say, I know you're kind of doing like a play-by-play kind of walkthrough of the game, but my impressions of it on the whole, I was saying after to my family on our way home from the game, I'm not mad at this loss. I mean, I'm mad about the ridiculousness of the kick and all that crazy shit ending it.
Yeah,
but the fact that it was a 1-score game and we had the lead against a team that's on paper should be an AFC Championship caliber team.
We had no business with it being that close to
and we've had 3 opponents back to back to back who are all way better than us on paper and are headed to Super Bowl level, teams.
Yes. It's absolutely,
we're playing really good competition, and the fact that we haven't been a complete embarrassment for all of it, and there's been some heart and a noticeable adjustments and some noticeable progress where we can have some. I'm encouraged by that. I mean, there are definitely a lot of things that I'm not encouraged by, but right now we could be a much uglier 0-3 than we are.
100%. That's why we didn't even put it in there, but your team, like the concerning teams for 0-3, we had no business of being in there, in my opinion.
Well, how can you be concerned about a team that was projected to be 0-3?
Yeah, 100%. Nobody gave us a shot to win any of those games, and we lost by one possession in two of them. And one of them we lost off a last-second, literally gift from God to the Baltimore Ravens. Literally a gift from God.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker's right leg is a gift from God. There's not a single other kicker in the NFL that can make that kick. It's crazy.
There's been a couple times this season though where I feel like I notice with this team when things start spiraling out of control, they spiral. they go progressively worse, and then sometimes they pick it back up and maybe fix it a little bit, but they look bad. They look really bad.
It's like one of two things. It's either the first half they don't know what the hell they're doing, and in the second half they adjust and actually know how to do shit, or the first half they come out firing like they did against the Packers, and in the second half they don't adjust and the other team does, and we're toast.
Right.
So that was kind of hard to see. But it's also, I agree with you 100%. It was extremely nice to see the heart in this team. And I think like that is something that we just don't see. They go down 18 or 13-0 at halftime, and they come back out and they outscore them 17-6 in the second half.
Yeah.
Like that's really nice to see. Goff looked horrible in the first half, and he was getting put on his back every other play. Like the offensive line, God bless them, there's only so much they can do. But when the Ravens are throwing 7 at Goff on a 3rd and long, and he has to scramble out and throw one of his ducks, and it goes incomplete, I mean, like, there's not much he can do. So Anthony Lynn's like, all right, well, we're going to get the ball out of your hands within 1 second every play.
Well, you can see the fire in some of these players too. Like when Jamal Williams scored that touchdown, he was celebrating hard. You can tell that some of these they want to win.
Yes,
100%. And they're amped up for Dan Campbell. Like you can tell there's a lot of passion there for sure.
Something that was not good. 2 things that were not good. A lot of stupid penalties. Tremendous amount. Ones that affected the game heavily, in my opinion. We had a couple on 4th and 1s that we were considering going for. There was one on the first drive where we were on probably their 40-yard line. That one I truly do believe that we were going to go for it. Darren Fells gets a false start. Now 4th and 6, and we punt. There was another one that was, honestly, this one was kind of crazy. I don't know if you remember this. It might have been in the second half. But we were on our own 35. We had the offense out there, and Penne gets the false start, and we go on to punt. The other one that was massive was that punt where we stripped that Raven of the ball and recover it on their 25, giving us great field position, at least 3. And they
blew it. They backed the ball up huge.
The gunner, he got nudged, and then he just sprinted out of bounds, which you cannot do to avoid a block. And he wasn't even a part of the play after that. It's not like he was the one who stripped it or recovered it. He wasn't a part of any of that. So that's just that's really stupid ass shit for them to be doing.
Yeah, and I heard that Dan Campbell was talking about that kind of stuff and just saying that there was a bunch of moments like that yesterday where he was just really unhappy with the execution of a lot of plays, and he didn't even blame the game on that field goal to lose it. He blamed on a lot of dumbass shit like that.
Yeah,
and that's probably accurate. I mean, if they had not nearly as many of those, maybe they had a better chance to win this thing.
Probably. So there was that, and then 3rd down conversions. Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
I don't think we converted one in the first half. They went, I think, 3 for 3 in the second half, which was, again, they're polar opposite teams in the first and second half. In every game so far, they have literally been polar opposite teams.
Been very Jekyll and Hyde so far.
It's absurd. But Anthony Lynn, dials something up on third down that will get us the first down.
I mean, it's hard when you have no playmakers.
It is 100%.
You've got Hawk, but he's going to be quadruple covered.
He was shut down yesterday.
Because
2 catches for 10 yards.
He's your best player in offense.
That's very true. Yeah. I guess I should put it all on. Khalif Raymond dropped a couple of balls, but he also
made some good catches.
He also had the 2 clutchest catches of the game.
He was so much more involved in this game plan, and again, not seeing a lot of him on St. Brown.
No, they did an end around to him yesterday that went nowhere. So
yeah, seeing not nearly enough out of him, I would hope for.
Same thing with Quintez. He needs to get more involved.
Well, it's weird because Green Bay game, he was
very solid.
Yeah.
I don't know. But third down conversions, they have to figure something out with. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was just because the Ravens were blitzing on every third down, and Goff had no chance to get rid of the ball. But I don't know. They do have to figure out a way to get it to Swift or Jamal or Hawk on third downs so they can convert them. They just have to.
I will say there was one good thing to come out yesterday.
What's that?
Calvin's halftime ceremony was pretty great.
It was pretty great.
I'm including all the booing for Sheila.
Yes. I mean, that was the best part.
I'm including all that.
It was extremely shocking to me that they did that.
Well,
I don't think they've paid him yet.
No, but what's easier, to have him at halftime and the year he's inducted in the Hall of Fame when every team should have that player, and just, hey, look, we're doing the right thing. That's a layup. That's easy to do. They're not going to pay him the money though.
It was not a layup for them. They heard it from the fans yesterday.
Yeah.
Calvin even tried to quiet them down, but in reality, he was probably loving that.
Not going to lie, I booed. I booed quite a bit.
I would have done it too. I would have been throwing my beer out on the field. Would not have made it, and it would have hit a fan. But
I mean, I'm mostly a big fan of what Sheila has done so far with the teams that she's been in charge. I mean, she got rid of, Boob 1 and Boob 2, and then you can put them in whatever order you want, and has done a pretty good job picking out this new regime so far, I think.
I would agree with that too.
Stafford got a good trade.
Maybe it was Martha's presence being down there.
I doubt that.
But I don't know.
But on the whole,
bags that don't know what they're doing.
I like her move. I just like her reign of terror over the line so far has been not as bad as the last couple decades.
Yeah.
So far, it's pretty promising. But all that being said, she could make it right with Calvin.
Just pay him his money.
It's not right.
It's so absurd. It's $1.6 million too.
Yeah.
Which, to them, dude, that's $10.
That's like a fringe roster player's salary.
Yeah, dude, just give the guy his fucking money and make amends.
Yeah.
This guy was literally top 2 greatest players on your team of all time.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
When's the last time?
He was the first ballot Hall of Famer.
When's the last? What's the last? What's the next likely person in the Lions franchise that's going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Matthew Stafford, who's probably going to go in as a Ram.
Right. If he plays for the Rams for 6 years and wins a couple Super Bowls, he'll be a Ram when he's going in, not a Lion. But it was great seeing him there, and he seemed happy to be back in Detroit, and he was praising the fans and stuff, and just watching the highlight reel of all of his sick catches over his career just was unbelievably awesome, and it was just a great moment to be a part of. It was the best part of the game yesterday by far for me.
100%. I think the only other thing that I wanted to touch on with this game is that this offense needs to run through Swift. I don't know whether or not that needs to be. We need to get the ball out of Goff's hands more, let him throw less, and give the ball to Jamal and DeAndre Swift a lot more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the ideal Jared Goff you're going to get is when Swift and Jamal Williams are running and they're having success, and then they can use the play action, and Goff
didn't actually look that bad yesterday.
Goff doesn't need to. Goff can't do it all by himself. He's actually 100%. Incapable of doing that. I feel like I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying
no. I mean, it is true.
He needs that he needs the running game to be popping if he's going to be playing well. And the problem with the Detroit Lions is that the running game has been shit for well over a decade.
Yeah.
And Swift is the first guy that we've had who's actually pretty promising and might who has the potential to be a top 10 NFL back.
Yeah.
If all things go right. And I agree. We need to see more of him. And Jamal Williams looked good too.
He did.
Nice.
I originally said that this offense, we need to see less Jamal and more DeAndre. I love Jamal. But after rewatching yesterday's game, I do agree that he needs to be a part of it just to keep Swift fresh.
They just need to have a nice tandem.
They need to have a nice tandem between those two.
Be nice to even have a third guy in there who's decent, but we don't really have that going on right now.
No, a nice power. Oh, well, Jamal kind of a power back.
Yeah.